Hello, it's Carmen again with Cherished Legacies in the Well Chronicled Life. I just did this presentation for another group earlier today and decided before I put it away that I would come on here and do it for you guys on my YouTube channel. So I hope you enjoy it. It is a jam-packed with tons of ideas on how to use AI and tools to make your forever account better. It is not a step by step. So if there's anything on here you're like, oh, Carmen, do another video and step us through it, then I'm happy to do that. Just let me know and I will do that. So first, let's talk about AI. I love this definition, a smart assistant, and that is what I use it as, a smart assistant. I get two pushbacks about using AI. One is techie. I promise you all of the things I use are very easy. I am not a techie person and I can use them. So don't be afraid of that. Two, I hear I don't want AI to know about me. I promise you, AI already knows all about you. So that's not really an excuse. So if you've ever used Google to search, if you've asked a question to Siri or Alexa or anyone else, if you've gotten directions on your phone, or if you used Spotify, I promise you, you're already using AI. So now let's use it to help with the most important job ever, to preserve your stories. So there's a phrase that we always hear, right? A picture's worth 1,000 words. And I get that. And I have pictures that blow me away and I feel that way. But I think this is better. A picture may be worth 1,000 words, but it rarely, if ever, tells the whole story. So this picture on the left-hand side is a picture about, it has a ton of background about it. It's a great story. It's in my account. But that picture does not tell the whole story. And so why do I use AI? Because I want to save time and I want to work harder, not harder. I want to work smarter, not harder. And so therefore, AI helps with those things. So first I want to say this. If you've already started your Forever account, and you have a mess, or maybe you even haven't even started your Forever account, you just have a mess. Stop stressing about the mess. Okay, and I'm going to tell you a simple way to get started. Okay, stop worrying about it. If you have your photos in Forever, which is what I recommend putting everything in Forever, dump it all in there. And you get people, which is facial recognition. Then you have organized by people and timeline, and that is enough, and that is wonderful. So stop worrying about the rest of it. And I want to get to the essence of what I want your account to be, and I want your stories to be, and I want them to be preserved. And this is how to get started. Get started with one story. The best one, I think, is if you travel and you like to travel. I think travel is a great way to get started, to step through this process. I am doing a webinar next Thursday live. Love to have you come. I'll put the link somewhere in the bio for this. But travel is a great way to get started because you can break each day up into albums. You can declutter those albums and then you can write a story for each one. And when you're done, you can share that and you have completed something. It's like printing a book or some other thing. You have a completed project. I love that. That one to start with. Another one is if you celebrate birthdays, and like my family has big themes and all this stuff. So for 1 year, I wanted to organize before the next person's birthday. My goal was to organize their birthdays, and I gave them that as a gift. Their organized birthdays was their gift. And under their birthdays, I told the story about the birthdays, why we celebrate, who celebrates, how we celebrated, all those things were in there. Another idea is holidays. Holidays are great because it's easy. You know when the holidays are every year. And so 1 year, that was my goal. I was going to organize my holidays before the next holiday came. And then I can easily keep up by just adding the next holiday on. And right in there, what are your traditions? Why are they your traditions? If you have Collect, if you have special ornaments, put the ornament there and then describe it. The last one is not one I would start with, but this is your end game, and it is your life, somebody's life. So the first one on the left side is my son's life, who is young, and on the other end is my dad's life, who is older. And I wanted to share the essence of him through pictures and stories and videos and audios. And that is what I did. So I don't recommend starting here, but I recommend this is where you end up. So how does it help? How does AI help? So for one thing, in our Forever account, they are improving it every day, and I love that. But there's some formatting issues that I want to be able to bold. I want to be able to have bullets, and I can't do that. So one thing that I've realized is you can use ChatGPT, and you can copy and paste, and it will keep the emojis. So when I go into ChatGPT, I write what I want, or I will copy and paste maybe a bulleted point, and I'll say, change bullets to emojis, or I will put make into a list and put emojis in front of it. And why do I do this? It breaks it up and it makes it more fun. That's why I love it. Another formatting issue, if you'll look on the left, that large palm tree. So it will make the first emoji or the first letter large. Sometimes like this, I kind of like it that way, so I left it. On the right, for some reason, I didn't like how it formatted. So all I did was to make inserted an extra line there to move it down. So there's an idea for that. Okay, how can it helps tell your stories by enhancing your storytelling. Okay, and this is what I love about ChatGPT, Gork, any of the Copilot, whatever you want. It can add details. So for a trip, if I'm in Key West, I might say, okay, this is what I did in Key West. Can you add a little bit about facts about Key West in 2 to 3 sentences? Okay. If I'm doing a story on the right, I wrote my husband's story. It is very long, lengthy, different stories in his account. And so there was things he said that I wanted quoted exactly. So I put that in quotes and said, keep this quote exactly, add dialogue between him and maybe his mother, between him and so. And it really enhances the story, makes it better. You can use it to add context. A lot of times, to make your story better, use all the 5 senses you can. So when you're telling ChatGPT, tell them what you smell, tell them what you smelled, what you how something tasted, and as descriptive as possible, and have ChatGPT add that to the story. And a long time ago, I came across this, and I cannot remember who to attribute it to. So if anybody knows where this came from, please tell me in the comments. It's the 4 H's, and I love it. They said, if you want a great story, and I want a great story in my Forever account, then you need to have at least one or more of these. And they are heart, humor, help, or hope. And I try to put as many of these in my stories as possible. And for help, which is a lesson I have in my life stories, I have an album that's transformational stories. And there I have videos or I tell stories of things that transform them in their life and during their time. So how the other way is it fills in the gaps. Sometimes we don't have the photos to tell the story. And sometimes I think we are too concentrated on taking the photos that we miss the story, right? So I really stopped worrying about getting every photo because I know I can fill in the gaps. So my husband doesn't have a lot of photos. He's been to 20 plus countries now, but he didn't have, when I met him, didn't have a photo from one. So what I did is I went and got a flag for each country that he had been to. And in the description, in your Forever account, please go see the other videos if you don't know what I'm talking about here. But go into the description, and I wrote why he was in the country, a little bit about it. And that's on the left. On the right, the two on the right is my dad's 80th birthday. And so I wanted a timeline of his life and all the things that had happened during his life. So I made these cards that I printed for his party, which are now in his account and tell the timeline of his life. So, and I used ourtimelines.com, a great resource for that. And so like at age 3, it says that you put in the birthday, it tells you what happened during different ages. So I just pulled ones out of that. And then at age 3, World War II ended. At age 62, I put a personal thing in there. You can see that's when his granddaughter. So it can feel like if you don't have things, AI can help you fill in gaps in these stories. So how do I use it? So this example is a travel example. I use it every day for everything I write, as far as in my account. And I like writing. I love reading. I love writing, but I don't have time, and I stress too much about making it perfect. I would never finish anything, right? So now I can finish things and I can do things quickly and I don't have to worry. So what I do, and the more you use it, the more it gets your voice. So what I do for trips, and I'll go into depth in this next week, so please join us then. But I go into a trip and I have everything set up. And by the time I leave that trip, I have already organized that trip. So each night I load my photos to the albums. Sometimes I separate into more albums, but then I write the story of the day in ChatGPT, and I just kind of write, we did this, this tasted really good. It tasted like the best thing I've ever eaten, blah, blah, blah. I write everything in there, and then I say summarize into a travel journal. And 9 times out of 10, I read it, make sure it's all correct, copy paste into the album description. Then I go back every day and I go back and do that every day. And then at the end of the trip, I say, give me a vacation recap. And that is what you'll see on the right. It summarizes the whole vacation. Absolutely wonderful. Okay, another little tool is Google Lens, or this is actually not Google Lens here. This is visual search. So if you right click, depending on the browser you are in, this will come up, and it might have Google Lens might come up. This one's visual search. It might be something else. If it doesn't work, the same thing can be done. Use your phone, and go to Google Lens and take a picture of it. And then what you do is when you click on that, it will tell you what that is. So this is the Kansas State Capitol. Another tool is Google Maps, thinking of it a different way. We all use Google Maps, but my husband didn't have pictures of this apartment he lived in. We typed in the address, the apartment's still there, and even better, this tree is a tree that he tells a story about. So I got that, just screenshot it, and boom, I have pictures of that in his account to upload into his account. So basically building a time capsule. A friend, Melissa, said she calls these stories capsules, and I love that. I use Google, I use newspaper.com, I use YouTube. Newspaper.com is the only one of the ones I've mentioned so far that I actually have a subscription to where I pay for it. And so for the newspaper.com, my dad was named after somebody that was killed in Pearl Harbor. So I went on to newspaper, found that person, a story about them, and downloaded that story and uploaded it to his story. For YouTube, I use it a lot because I do, you'll have to check out my year in the review for their highlights. My kids give me their top 10 playlist. I look up as many as possible, download them, and upload them to my album. So that is wonderful. Also in here is an audio of the #1 song. When my dad was born, I put that on the birth. So my final one that I want to talk about is Otter or Whisper. You also can do this in Microsoft Word if you want, but you can upload audio. Some of them you can upload audio or video. Sometimes you have to strip it, but you upload it and then it will give you a transcript of that, which is wonderful because then you can just copy and paste again into that description. Or even better, you can take it, you can label this speaker 1 is and tell it who it is, speaker 2 who that is, right? And then what you can do is copy and paste that ChatGPT and say, hey, make a story about this. Okay, use this for a story. So it's absolutely a great tool to use. And final is AI already knows all about you. Trust me, it does. Now let it help others truly know you. Share the stories only you can tell and make them unforgettable. And so take action. I want you to pick one story today to get started and use a new tool or an old tool in a new way and get started. Let me know if you have any questions or what videos you want to see. I'll put links below to the webinar next week. And if you haven't got started, to a forever free account. Thanks. Have a great day. See ya.